What ho, fairy listeners! It's time to venture into the League of Villains and take them down with My Hero Academia.
I mean, I don't know why we've become medieval right now.
Yeah,
Do you want to explain that to me?
I don't know.
Like, you would have been better off doing that last episode, considering we were talking about a chivalrous heart.
Yeah?
Actually, you know what? This is something I didn't even think about doing last time. So before we start on this episode, let me throw this at you, because I was thinking about this after we finished recording that. The initial fight was supposed to be Eraser versus those two, versus Rappa and the barrier dude, right?
Right.
How would that fight have shaken out had it actually gone to plan?
Horribly in their minds.
Well, here's the thing, right? Eraser could only stop the barriers. Like,
Oh.
from what I understand, Rappa, the punching dude, his was a physical manifestation in, like, the bone structure of his arms. Because if I remember right, his dialogue says something about how he's able to rotate his arms, and that's why he can punch super fast.
So what's his quirk?
His quirk is the bone structure allowing him to do that. So kind of like Tail Dude. I forget his name. From the school.
So couldn't Eraserhead just...
He can't stop it with his quirk, though. Like, he can't stop physically manifested quirks. He could stop the barrier, because the barrier is something that's projected, but he can't stop something that's, like, physically there. I'm curious how it would have gone, because even if he could stop the barriers, how's he going to deal with the speed and power of Rappa? Because, I mean, Eraserhead's good, don't get me wrong. He's well above average, but I don't think he would have been able to handle it. And keep his eyes on... Well, like, here's the thing, right? Because Eraserhead needs to keep his eyes on Barrier Dude and not blink at the same time. Because the minute he blinks, that breaks his quirk. So he has to fight Rappa while he's staring at Barrier Dude.
I think it's Tenga.
Tenga. While he's staring at Tenga. And still somehow fight Rappa, who is potentially faster and most definitely stronger than him.
Yeah, that would have ended bad for Eraserhead.
Because it would have been a really hard fight, and even if he could knock out Tenga, which is possible. I could see him doing that, like, just knocking Tenga out normally, and then not having to deal with just staring at him. I don't think he'd have a way to take out Rappa, because Rappa's just too stupidly strong at that point.
Yeah, and it seems that Tenga and Rappa really aren't as knocked out as we thought they were.
Yeah, broaching into this episode, no, they were not. I mean, the barrier seems to have taken the brunt of the blow. However, like, Tenga does not have the energy to really do anything, which is kind of obvious because Rappa just steps on him and knocks him out.
And Rappa is a little bit more chivalrous. He was saying, okay, we admit defeat.
He didn't admit defeat. He admitted a draw because neither of them were dead, and neither of them could continue fighting.
That's right.
I wouldn't say it's so much honor as it is, like, his own self-centered desires. Like, he wants a fight to the death, right? And that's also the only reason he's staying with Overhaul. It's because Overhaul beat him, and he wants to beat Overhaul. And hell, if he had stayed dead, he probably wouldn't, like, obviously he wouldn't care because he's dead. Like, the fact that Overhaul keeps bringing him back is what the problem is. Actually, speaking of which, I just realized something. Overhaul's ability is just a JoJo stand from Part 6.
Isn't it from Part 4?
No.
Oh.
No, if you're thinking, if you're thinking of,
Crazy Diamond.
Yeah, no, you're not, it's not Crazy Diamond, because Crazy Diamond is just, we'll put things back to the way they were originally, right? Overhauls is straight up destroying and reconstruction, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, which is essentially what a stand in JoJo Part 6 does.
Okay, that's intriguing.
Mm-hmm. We're getting some interesting bits of dialogue. Apparently, right, Rappa starts, like, more or less giving out the information. Like, he doesn't know the details, but he's giving out information he overheard about it, like how they're trying to get something to pay, to get them to pay. In this case, it's going to be the drug that they've created, and once they've sold that off, they can take that funding to then do something else. Or at least that's what I got out of this.
Oh, so it's a multi-step villain process. We need money. How do we make money? By doing this evil thing so that we can do more evil things.
That's what it seems like. Yeah, that's kind of what I got out of it. And maybe I'm wrong, because that kind of went by a bit quick. But I think it's just, hey, we need to make our money. Here's the perfect way to make that money. And in turn, also gathering people of, like, not faith, but people putting their trust and faith in them to be able to do shit. So, like, they're also kind of growing their brand or / team popularity or whatever at the same time as they're doing this, making the money. And then when they go for whatever other thing they want to do, then with that money, they've also got the backing of other people.
And not shooting you down, but I fail to see this ending in 3 episodes.
Well, here's the thing, right? Next episode from the preview, Overhaul's fighting. Miriam catches up to them.
Here's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam will lose his quirk. That because there was that dart gun pointed at him.
Well, there was that, and we also got the confirmation from Overhaul that they have a completed serum. The thing is, I don't know if that's the buff or if that's the quirk destruction. That's what I don't think we know yet. We don't know if it's the steroid or the quirk destroyer.
So, if it's temporary, no, I'm going to say he will lose his quirk, and then Overhaul will get further away, and they will need to fight more people before episode, let's say, 21, when it will be a big showdown against Overhaul.
See, I don't think so. I still think by, like, here's the thing. I don't know if it's 12 or 13 where it's going to cut off right now, okay? I think we're going to get episode 11, Mirio versus Overhaul, right? And right now we're speculating. We're not really talking about the current episode, whatever. I think what's going to happen is we're going to get Mirio versus Overhaul. Mirio's obviously not going to be able to either A, handle it on his own, or B, be beaten. And at the time, but he's going to buy, like, enough time for the others to catch up. And we're going to get some kind of, like, showdown, I think, either between Overhaul or between the guy that was carrying Aerie. We might even save Aerie here, but Overhaul is going to, in the end, I think, get away with that completed serum.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Whether or not we actually save Aerie is kind of up in the air at this point. I'm not 100% sure. But I think in the end, Overhaul's totally getting away with that serum, and it's going to be a whole new problem.
So you're still saying that in 2 or 3 episodes, Aerie will be saved?
I'm up in the air on that. I'm not sure. Because at this point, right, even with the completed serum, they still need her blood. At least that's the way I'm assuming this is still working. Unless they can somehow synthesize her blood. Or what makes it. The other thing I'm thinking of, and this is the part I didn't think about for a second, was that Twice and Toga are there.
Yeah.
I called Twice. I really didn't think Toga was going to be there.
I forgot how creepy Toga was.
And here's the other thing we learn, and this is when I did call, I didn't think that Shigaraki was going to work well with them, even if they partnered up, which is true. He told them if things go south, fuck them up, essentially. So right now, those two are going to be running free, whether that means fighting the heroes or just straight up fighting the Yakuza at this point. It's kind of up in the air.
And it seemed that Rappa and Tega wanted to bring back some Yakuza gang.
I didn't get that out of those two.
I may be misremembering it because I usually watch it about an hour before we record this, and I watched this one last night, so I may be misremembering that one part, but I thought Rappa was part of a Yakuza gang.
No, he was an MMA fighter.
That's right. That's right. I even was like, hey, is that the UFC? Because they had the octagon.
No, he was an MMA fighter, and it was an underground one where basically you were allowed to use your quirk to its fullest potential. So there were no hold bars on can you kill your opponent. That was, more than fine. Which is kind of where he, I would say that's kind of where he developed his whole personality of wanting to fight to the death and that obsession. And the fact that, he was constantly champion and never lost is what really killed his buzz and why he started following Overhaul, because Overhaul actually beat him and continues to beat him. Like, he said he challenged him 5 times and lost every time. And while, Fat Gum seems like he's just, blown away by this fact at how strong he is, it's just, no, this is the way that the type matchup works. Like, you have a brawler, and then you have a guy who just straight up destroys and reconstructs. It'd be the same situation if he tried to fight Shigaraki. Like, Shigaraki would just decay his arms. Like, it's the way the quirks compare to each other.
And I think this was something we were discussing with JoJo before, like, what stands are better than others.
It's matchup. Yeah, it's totally the matchup. Which is what makes Hiro, Aka, and JoJo work. And even, to a somewhat lesser extent, to how One Piece works, right? It's the same idea of, it's not your power level, it's not your number that's bigger, it's your ability and the way it works. It's the way your matchup is one versus another. What's Luffy gonna do against, a lava dude? He's rubber. The dude's gonna melt. He's gonna have a tough time fighting that. But, you throw him up against somebody that can just, hurl rocks or turn into rock, he's gonna have a less trouble fighting that.
And sticky hair dude, like the little pervert kid, what would that be good against?
Hell, in that case, he might actually be able to take on Rappa if he sets up his hairballs right. He tosses those down and Rappa can't move. What's he gonna do now? He's stuck. I think his name is Mineta. Mineta would just win. You throw the hairballs down, he's stuck on him, he's not moving anywhere.
Call an Eraserhead and just oh yeah, that's a physical quirk, never mind.
Yeah, Eraser can't stop that. I don't think Eraser could stop Mineta's quirk either. Because that's also technically a physical quirk that's manifested in his hair.
And it seems that, the guy that's in the building now, that he's running out of energy.
Yeah, and I think that's in part why Toga did what she did to infuriate him. I think the more you use the quirk, it's like the Patara earrings, right? The more you use the quirk, the more power you use while you're in the Patara fusion, the faster it depletes. The faster your timer goes down. I think it's the same concept. So, fucking Super Saiyan Blue Vegito fucking goes out of existence in 5 minutes because he goes blue, rather than the regular half hour that he's supposed to have. In this case, you start really using your quirk and overexerting it, that steroid's going to run out way faster.
So we had those 2 main parts, and along with a few flashbacks.
Yep, we got the flashbacks. More or less, Shigaraki knows the plan, or at least whatever Overhaul was willing to tell him. I don't know if Overhaul told him the full truth or not. We only got the end of him saying well, we told you our plan. What about yours? And then we got Shigaraki talking to Toga and Twice about how he wants them to go in, and then when things go bad, just go on a rampage, basically. Do what you want.
And did we ever see Shigaraki's face before? Because he finally took the hand off his face.
I think we have, but it's also been shadowy. I don't think we've ever had a full sunlight on face situation.
So, Shigaraki face reveal!
Yeah, I could say that this is the best, clearest look we've ever gotten at his face. I do believe that we've seen it before, but it's been kind of shadowy and somewhat darker. That you could totally have put together what he looks like, I think, prior to this. We do get the idea that it actually seems like Shigaraki gives a shit about the people in his group. While he's a piece of shit that wants to tear down the world, he does seem to care about those that are around him, which kind of just fuels the whole idea of like him and Izuku being two sides of the same coin here.
Anything else we want to talk about? I think we broke down pretty much all we could.
I mean, the only other thing we really have at this point is like, was it Rocklock and Night Eye being separated along with the police from Eraser and Deku. Although I believe that did they get back together by the end of? No, they didn't, because they got dropped down a hole along with Toga and Twice. So while they did try to get back together, they got dropped down the hole next, I think. And I think those two are, I don't know where they're going at this point, right? We don't know where those four are going to end up. And maybe we'll know in next episode, and maybe we'll just have the whole Lemillion fight. It's hard to say. It's also going to throw up like the wall dude. I'm completely blanking on his name. It also throws up what's going to happen with him, because he's running out of juice. And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen after that.
And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Mirio will lose his quirk. I'm just going to say permanently due to the bullets.
I don't know if I think that's going to happen. It depends, right? Because we've never actually seen him fight other than that one example when he was fighting like the class at one point. It depends on how quick he is, because literally his quirk would allow it to just slip through his body.
Because a few episodes back, I said I feel like somebody will lose their quirk in this arc, and I'm almost definite it's going to be Mirio.
You see, I don't know. Because right now we have that weird setup where Night Eye's like, who's better? Is it, Mirio, or is it you, Izuku? Right? I don't know that they're going to end it on Mirio losing a quirk. Like a permanently. Especially considering, depending on how quick he is, his quirk is pretty well tailored to just not being hit. Kind of the same way Red Riot is, right? Where it's just hardened so the bullet doesn't hit. Or the bullet won't pierce. In Mirio's case, I'm straight up just going to become intangible so nothing physical can touch me. Like, his quirk lends to not being hit by that shit.
But what if it's a sneak attack?
It's going to be extremely hard, especially with how his quirk works, right? The way his quirk works is that he goes intangible and he starts falling through the floor. At that point, they have no idea where he's going to come out.
Right.
Like, it's all up to where Mirio decides, like, what's the best angle? How do I shoot myself back out? So unless they're really good at outthinking and planning on where he's going to come out, I don't see them being able to pull it off. Now, that said, I don't know what the other guy's quirk is. Like, I think we got, like, a title for the other guy's quirk, but we never got an explanation as to what it actually is. The one that's carrying Eri. Like, we have an idea, and I think we got an actual readout of what Overhauls is, which is destruction and reconstruction. As for what in the hell the other guy's is, I don't remember what the name was, and we don't have an explanation. So maybe he's a hard counter to Mirio, I'm not sure.
It's more of a guess on my part since, hey...
That's fair, and I'm just throwing out educated, guesses of my own here as to why it won't work.
Yeah, since this is all like, hey, we're making predictions.
I'm just going based on what I have fact-wise to work off of. And again, Mirio's older than Izuku at this point, so he's had the 3 years plus, I believe, a full year at this point probably of working with a hero agency, right? He's got the training, and he's next thing to a pro hero at this point. That's not to say that he's invulnerable or, immortal or whatever. It's just to say that I don't know that a regular bullet is really going to catch him without there being some kind of foul play or horseshit involved to make him vulnerable to it, especially considering the quirk he has.
You're usually good at predicting things. I just want to be good for once.
Well, it's because I work with the facts I know in the show, right? It's just like, based on how storytelling works, based on what I know of this story, I don't know whether or not this is how it's probably going to go down, or this is how it's probably not going to go down, right? Like that's where I'm at. That's just how it works in my head.
Fair enough.
So yeah, the question becomes like, is it gonna? Well, the other question is like, sorry, I know you're trying to end this, but the last thing I want to throw in here is like, is it going to be the Wall Dude versus Night Eye at this point? You know, with what's left of his steroid boost, because we did get to see Night Eye fight, which is really interesting considering he's literally throwing like little mini weights around. And apparently there's some guy that's putting out like mud clones or something, because Rappa shows up and we're like, but wait, his arms are broken. How is he here? So somebody's making like wall or mud clones or something of characters. And it even almost looked like it was actually Rappa's quirk at the same time. Unless that was Toga. I'm not 100% sure. That might have been Toga. Because when she takes on a form, doesn't it then turn to mud, I think, after she drops it?
I think.
So that might have been Toga in that, like, making her look like Rappa. So she took his blood at some point. Which makes me wonder what other people did she take blood from in the Yakuza. Also, I think she has Eraserhead's blood now. From that stab she gave him. And she might still have a little bit left over from Rocklock. I'm not sure.
Oh, crap.
So she could start impersonating people on either side at this point. Who knows? Because who knows what blood she has available right now. She could sow a lot of chaos.
And that will be in the next episode.
Well, I mean, I don't think with Toga, but yeah, the next episode will be Lemillion and like these fucking predictions on whether or not things are going to go down your way or my way. Or maybe no way at all. Maybe it'll be a 2-part fight.
Okay, I may not be right in the next episode, but I'm guessing by the end of this arc, somebody will lose their quirk. I am heavily leaning towards Mirio.
No, we'll see.
Okay, hopefully I'll be right for once. Hopefully.
I still don't think so, just based on what I know, but hey, I could be wrong. There could be some shady shit. I don't... That guy following Overhaul's a fucking random ass element. We'll find out.
So, come back next week, and if I sound extra happy in the beginning...
You'll know he was wrong.
Hey! Be sure to check out Brianna's Discuss Anime, which is going to go on a month or 2 hiatus. Be sure to check out Movie Makers, which will probably be out in its place, maybe. We're playing Dark Souls. Check it out. It's quite a glitchy mess of hilarity.
We're streaming that every Tuesday.
I guess that's it. So, until we discuss My Hero Academia next time, see ya.
Bye.